Hi, I'm Una. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have an update for Project Level Up, which is a project that was created by Sophie Alexandria. You should check out her channel. I just started this probably a month and a half ago, and yeah, so basically the idea is that there are 5 levels. For each level you want to hit the number of pans that is that level and use each shade that number of times. So for level 1 you want to hit 1 pan and use every shade once. For level 2 you want to hit 2 pans and use every shade twice, and so on. And yeah, so I just started with level 1, and the palette that I rolled in was the She's Got Solstice palette from ColourPop. This does have one shade that's swapped out for a different palette. Again, as always, I apologize for construction noises. But yeah, so I'm just gonna let you know how many uses I have on these shades. I have not hit any pans. This is what we are looking like this month. So I'm just gonna go through all of the shades and talk about how much I've used them. So the first shade, So Serious, which is kind of like a peachy kind of highlight-y light shimmer, I've used once. The shade Big Bang, which is a pale pink, I've used twice. The shade Quasar I have used 0 times. It's very similar to a shade in my Pan That palette, and I also don't use that shade very often. The shade Nova I have used twice. This is a little cooler. The shade Estrella, which is actually the shade Downright from the Give It To Me Straight palette, I have used 4 times. The shade Super Stardust I have used 0 times. Again, the warm tones, they always get me. The shade Mars is the shade that I've decided to try and hit pan on, and so I have used this 14 times, which I'm actually pretty happy with. The shade Earth Angel I have used once, and the shade Chromosphere I have used twice. So that's what we're looking like. Altogether, I've used this palette 16 times, which I am pretty happy with, and I think I have decided that I want to keep this project going. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I am kind of glad. At first I was feeling kind of ridiculous about not hitting pan, or not hitting one use on these two, but honestly, because I'm still definitely nowhere near pan on this, I'm fine drawing it out a little bit more and focusing more on my Pan That palette. So yeah, it's all okay. I do really like this palette, although I don't feel like I use it enough like on its own, which is true of most of my palettes. It's also nice because it was one that I hadn't used every shade from yet, and I still don't think I have. So when I do get my one use on each of these, I will have done that. I do like this shade. One thing I will say about this is, like, with the packaging, like the green is like a big part of it. As you can see here, it's got the purples, pinks, and greens, whereas the palette itself is very warm toned. There's no purple, and the green here, I compared it to the green in the Child palette from ColourPop. At the top is way more green than this one. This one kind of turns into a little bit of a greeny toned light gold, but that does make it more wearable, so I'm not actually mad at that. I just feel like I don't know, like there's a reason this color story is not as perfect as it could be. Like, I would love a purple in here, maybe like the purple from the Alva palette, like this shade. This lilac shade would be so pretty in there, and like an actual like real green. I just think that could be so pretty. So maybe, who knows, maybe one day I'll try to make like a proper She's Got Solstice palette that I feel like reflects like the packaging and that kind of dreamy aura, like kind of Mercury retrograde type palette look. But yeah, overall I do like the palette. I'm glad that I'm working on it, and I hope that I can hit pan in Mars sometime soon. I did hit pan in Sip and Soup in this palette, which is also green. More green, and that one took, I think, around 40 to 50 uses, and so yeah, based on that, this is a long way away. But I've been using it in my inner corner a lot. That's how I'm wearing it now, and I do really like that. Like I said, it's very kind of subtle, but just like a little bit different, especially with like a cool tone brown look. I think it looks amazing, which is also how I use Sipping Soup a lot when I was working on that. And but even like right now I have like a mauve look on, even a warm orange look like with some of these shades. It really is a beautiful shade, and I'm glad to be getting more use on this palette. It is from 2020, so it is aging, as many of my palettes are, though I think the quality does seem about the same, even with Super Stardust, which is like kind of a different formula, and I did worry it might dry out, but it seems okay. And yeah, so I will check up with you again Hopefully in about a month or so. I'm filming this on the 18th of December, so sometime mid-January. Hopefully we'll have a pan, probably not, but hopefully I'll at least have some uses on these. And I would like to use each shade more than once, for sure, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.